solid is all about instilling confidence in our communities through fitness. And so there's plenty of people who already are on their fitness journey.
Yeah.
So I'm more interested in on how do we reach those who have thought about it, wanted to, but necessarily haven't been able to stick to it or haven't even been able to begin at all.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wanted to ask you, somebody who's been on their fitness journey,
Yeah.
who's disciplined, and your body and your mindset shows that you're not messing around when it comes to working out. You take it seriously, and it's your profession. So why somebody who's a professional that has your physique and that has all the tools at your disposal, do you think it's still important for you to have an accountability partner?
Oh, yeah, I think just anybody. I mean, naturally and everybody has, different goals and different ways to kind of get themselves going. But for me personally, like when we work out together, it's like competitive. We're not necessarily lifting the same weights, but after like today, we did a leg curl, we were doing that certain way. I hit it for like 8 reps. And then you went and hit that same weight for like 8 reps. I'm like, all right, dude, I got to go a little bit more. And then I did it for more reps and so on.
Yeah, I've seen that.
So there's that aspect, having someone there kind of helps motivate you to go like, oh, heck yeah, I just saw Gil step it up. Let me step it up, in the same way, or try to do more or something, So that's huge. And then secondly, just accountability. I know each week we have our workouts at certain times. So it's not that I'm just letting myself down if I were to miss it, but I'm letting you down, and I think vice versa.
Correct.
So I think that's really powerful in regards to getting motivated and staying on track. And that's also a big reason why people have personal trainers too. Because it's like, okay, I know I have an appointment with this trainer and I know they're going to hold me accountable. And a lot of times people are, they're not a lot of times, 99% of the time they're paying for it. And it's like, okay, I'm putting my money down. So the value's there, So does that answer
that? No, that answers it perfectly. And I wanted to do a follow-up with that because just like you mentioned, a lot of people pay to have accountability partners. Now, in our certain setup that we have working out with each other, there's no payment going back and forth. And this is something that I'm hoping to bring value to people who would say to themselves, well, what do I have to bring to value as an accountability partner? And so I want to ask you, not necessarily for like what makes me a good accountability partner for you, but I would put the question like this: what makes somebody that can't lift close to as much as you on most lifts, right? That means that you got to put your plates off and we got to take them off for me to go and do my sets. So a lot of times it's not competitive when it comes to the lifts. And also, if we were to compare physiques to each other, you're light years ahead of me. And so I can see, for me, I get to see how heavy you're lifting, and I get to see a physique that I admire, and I would have a goal to set for me to have that. But what is it for you? So what is it for somebody who's more fit, more strong, that can still find value in an accountability partner?
Yeah, I would say, leading by example is one. I know that like in this context, jiu-jitsu, it'd be the other way around. You'd be the guy, show me what's up. You'd be, I'd be like, okay, show me what's going on here, Gil. And you would lead by example in many ways in regards to your effort and technique. Same thing. Like I want to lead in regards to my effort and technique. But something else too, it's like, we do compete though, and I think comparison is also dangerous too in a lot of ways to a lot of people, especially when they're first starting out, in regards to comparing themselves to somebody they see on social media or somebody they see inside the gym, maybe who is light years ahead of them. A lot of times that can like stifle their willingness to even like start, So I think comparison is good in a healthy way in regards to not like necessarily I want to be exactly like that person, but I want to bring the same type of effort and the same type of discipline to the scenario. I may never look like that person. I may never lift the same amount, but I'm going to build the principles within myself that person has to my life, to my fitness journey. You know what I mean? So when we are competing, it's not necessarily that you're like lifting heavier weight than me, but I see the effort you put in some sets. And I'm like, oh, dang. I need to put my effort there, you know? So although the numbers aren't the same, maybe the physique's not the same, you still inspire me by the effort, you know, and certain things, the principles that you display.
So you could have not lifted a weight before in your life and come into the gym and still be inspiring to somebody who's lifted more than half their life just by coming and putting in effort and the willingness to do hard work.
Oh my gosh, like I've seen so many people who, have never lifted before or anything, you know. I mean, technically, you know, can't maybe lift as much or whatever, or maybe not in as good cardiovascular shape. That doesn't matter to me. Like when I see somebody coming into the gym and taking that step, and a lot of times it's very courageous, you know. The gym can be an intimidating place for somebody who has no experience in the gym, you know, and they see these people, they're doing stuff they don't even understand, you know, they don't know how to work certain parts of their body. They're maybe insecure about their body. They feel like they're going to be judged in a situation, you know, but they still have the courage to show up, you know, and do something for themselves. That's the most important part. It's like when you're going to the gym, you're not trying to compete with everyone around you. You're there for yourself, you know, and you're there wherever you're starting. That's your starting point. Don't worry about nobody else. You're there and showing up. And for me, it's like those people motivate me, honestly, the most out of anybody. Like, you know, there's powerlifters out there who are lifting thousands of pounds. There's bodybuilders out there who look X, Y, and Z. That doesn't really matter that much to me. It's inspiring in certain ways, you know. I may not have the same goals, but it's like, oh, that person's really disciplined and putting the effort and stuff. But they've been doing it a super long time. When they go in the gym, they're not necessarily scared or intimidated. That's their dojo. They've been there forever, so it's kind of easy for them. But then you get somebody who hasn't done it ever. They come to the gym and they're intimidated, they're scared, but they still show up. Like that's huge. That's like motivating as hell to me. Not only does it make me go like, heck yeah, and pump me up, but actually makes me want to like support them and make them feel good. And like, you know, that's why I really like, you know, creating that environment in this gym, you know, so when people first come in, you know, making sure that that's the environment, that's the culture here.
No, that's important. I feel so many people who are out of shape, whether they're really skinny and got no muscles and they feel they're weak, or they're on the bigger side, they've let themselves, you know, get overweight. They almost come into the gym like embarrassed to work out because they see all the other fit people. They, in their eyes, they feel they're being judged, made fun of, but you kind of just brought it to light as that, no, it's kind of inspiring to see those that are starting their fitness journey and know that they may be a long road ahead of them, but they're coming anyways and putting in the work.
For sure. And just again, going back to the not comparing yourself, because you could, like, genes play a huge role. So many things play a role in regards to like how you look and like how strong you can necessarily be. To me, that's not even close to the most important part about fitness, you know. Showing up for yourself. It's doing something for yourself. It's finding enjoyment in movement. For some people, that might just be walking around the block once a day. Other people, that might be hitting the weights, hitting PRs and stuff. So I think people, you know, there's not one way to do something, and there's not comparison. There's not one way to look. There's not one way to lift, you know, because somebody could be putting in just as much work, doing all the right things as just somebody else, but they're never going to be as strong as that person. They're never going to look like that person. They're constantly trying to chase somebody else and comparing themselves to somebody else. They're not doing it for the right reasons, and they're going to set themselves up for failure in the long run, you know?
Got it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing some of your wisdom with us.
Of course.